There's a belief that's quietly poisoning ambition, slowly killing drive, and subtly eroding responsibility. And it's the idea that life owes you something. That because you've been through hard times, because you've tried, because you're a good person, the world is supposed to hand you something in return. Maybe it's comfort, maybe it's success, maybe it's happiness. But here's the truth, plain and simple. Life doesn't owe you anything. Not a job, not a break, not even an explanation. And the sooner you understand this, the sooner you can start living with power, clarity, and purpose. You see, we all grow up hearing about fairness, how things should work, how effort should equal reward, and how doing good should bring good back to you. But life doesn't always operate on a should. Life operates on reality, and reality is this. It's not about what you feel you deserve. It's about what you do to earn what you want. Nobody is coming to knock on your door with the success you dream about. No one is going to tap you on the shoulder and say, you've been through a lot, here's your reward. The world doesn't bend to pain, it responds to action, it responds to consistency, it responds to results. Now that may sound harsh, it may sound cold, but it's not cruelty, it's clarity. And clarity is a gift. Because once you stop waiting for someone to give you permission to succeed, once you stop hoping for someone else to carry your burdens, you start to realize how much power you actually have. When you stop expecting life to make room for your excuses, you start making room for your growth. You start showing up differently. You stop whining and start working. You stop blaming and start building. Think about it. How many people do you know who have talent, potential, big dreams, but they sit around waiting for life to recognize them, waiting for the perfect time, the perfect opportunity, the perfect condition? They're so busy hoping someone will come along and make it easier, they forget the most important truth. The door to success is opened from the inside. You don't need someone to pick you. Well, you don't need someone to validate you. You need to pick yourself. You need to validate your own effort with your own actions. The people who thrive, truly thrive, don't spend their energy complaining that it's hard. They use that energy to get better. They know the world is competitive, so they outwork the competition. They know circumstances can be unfair, so they focus on what they can control. They don't spend time feeling sorry for themselves. When the world doesn't notice them, they make themselves so valuable that the world can't ignore them. That's the mindset shift that changes everything. And yes, life can be brutal. It can hit you with disappointments you didn't deserve, pain you didn't ask for, and losses that weren't your fault. But let me tell you something, those aren't reasons to quit. They're reasons to become stronger. Nobody promised you life would be fair. But you can promise yourself that you'll fight, that you'll grow, that you'll rise in the face of it. Your past may have shaped you, but it does not define your destiny. What defines your destiny is what you do next, what you build, what you learn, how you adapt, and how you show up when life is silent and no one is clapping for you. Here's the raw reality. The world isn't watching your every move. It's not applauding your efforts. It's not counting your setbacks, but that doesn't mean what you do doesn't matter. It matters deeply to your future, to your purpose, to the legacy you're building. The reward isn't in being seen, it's in becoming someone worth seeing. It's not about being handed something, it's about becoming someone who creates their own opportunity, who becomes undeniable through hard work, through persistence, through personal excellence. So stop waiting for life to do something for you. Start doing something for your life. Don't complain that the mountain is high. Get climbing. Don't get stuck asking why it's so difficult. Learn to become stronger. Nobody owes you success, but success will always belong to those who are willing to work when no one's watching, to push when they're tired, and to rise when they fall. When you adopt this mindset, you stop asking for guarantees and you start making progress. Because the truth is, nobody cares. And that's your greatest advantage, because now it's all on you, and that's exactly where it should be. There's a trap that many fall into, and it's not laziness, it's not fear, it's not even failure. It's the subtle craving for sympathy. It's the desire to be seen as the one who was wronged. the one who tried, the one who suffered, and the hope that someone else will come along, put a hand on your shoulder and say, it's okay, you've been through enough. But the truth is, sympathy doesn't build strength. It doesn't build a business. It doesn't fix your bank account. It doesn't get you in shape. It doesn't fix your relationships. Sympathy may feel good, but it doesn't help you grow. The hard truth, life will not stop and feel sorry for you. And people, even the well-meaning ones, they may care in passing, but eventually they move on. They have their own problems, their own worries, their own lives to live. If you're sitting in the wreckage of your past waiting for someone to lift you out, you'll be waiting a long time, because here's what makes the difference: responsibility. When you stop looking outward for rescue and start looking inward for power, your entire world begins to change. Responsibility isn't about blame. Let's get that clear. It's not saying everything that happened to you was your fault. No. Life can be cruel. People can be cruel. You may have been abandoned, betrayed, lied to, cheated on, or overlooked. But if you stay there, if you sit in that moment forever, then you become a prisoner of it. The only way to get your life back is to take ownership of what happens next. You may not be responsible for the storm, but you're responsible for how you rebuild. You didn't choose the wound, but the healing, that's on you. See, there's power in taking responsibility. It shifts you from being a passive observer to an active creator. You're no longer saying, why did this happen to me? You're asking, what can I do with this? That's the question that begins your comeback. That's the question that builds character. When you stop waiting for someone else to fix it, you find out just how capable you really are. And here's the beautiful part: nobody can take that away from you. When your confidence is built on your own action, when your strength is built on your own choices, it's real, it's deep, it's yours. Now, I know it's hard. I know it's tempting to post your pain on social media and wait for the likes, the hearts, the stay strong comments, but be honest, does that change anything? After the screen goes dark, after the notifications stop, what's left? Still you, still your choices, still your responsibility. So instead of seeking sympathy, seek solutions. Instead of collecting pity, collect progress. The world may not owe you a thing, but you owe it to yourself to rise. And let me tell you something else. People are drawn to those who take responsibility. People trust those who say, I got this. Employers promote them. Clients believe in them. Friends respect them. Partners grow with them. Because responsibility is leadership, and leadership begins with leading yourself. If you can hold yourself accountable when no one is watching, if you can admit when you fall and still get back up, you're already ahead of 90% of the population. You got to understand, the longer you hold onto the narrative of being a victim, the more you delay your future. Your story is powerful, but not because of what happened. It's powerful because of what you decide to do with it. That's what inspires, that's what uplifts. Not the struggle itself, but the strength that emerged from it. And strength is always the child of responsibility. You don't get stronger by chance, you get stronger by choice. Responsibility is not glamorous, it's not exciting, it doesn't come with a parade. It's quiet. It happens at 5:00 a.m. when the alarm goes off and no one is around to clap for you. It happens when you choose not to argue, not to quit, not to give up. It happens when you forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you refuse to carry their burden any longer. It happens when you stop blaming your parents, your boss, your childhood, or your circumstances, and you say, from this moment forward, I will take the wheel. So no more complaining, no more waiting for someone to make it right, no more rehearsing the pain and replaying the excuses. The world isn't looking for someone to feel sorry for. It's waiting to see who's going to rise anyway, and that someone can be you. You don't need everyone to understand. You don't need anyone to rescue you. You need to look in the mirror, tell the truth, and take charge. That's when everything starts to change, not because the world changed, but because you did. There's something you have to understand about real success. It doesn't announce itself with trumpets. It doesn't come wrapped in applause. It's not given to the loudest voice in the room. It's earned, and most of the time, it's earned in silence. That's the part most people never see. The late nights, the early mornings, the sacrifices, the choices no one claps for, the tears you wipe away alone, the disappointments you swallow in private. People love to cheer for the win, but they rarely witness the war it took to earn it. They'll see the result and say, "You're lucky," or "You were born for this." But they weren't there when you wanted to quit and didn't. They weren't there when you failed and kept going. They didn't see you rehearse the same thing 1,000 times until it clicked. Because that's what real winners do. They don't wait to be seen. They don't crave credit. They just work, they grind. And while the rest of the world is distracted, scrolling, comparing, complaining, the real ones are building, quietly, consistently, day by day. They know success isn't a performance, it's a process. It's not about looking impressive, it's about becoming capable. You see, there's a culture now that confuses exposure with excellence. People want to be known before they've done the work. They want the followers before the foundation. But success doesn't care about how many people know your name. It cares about how prepared you are when opportunity knocks. It cares about how many hours you put in when no one was clapping. You don't rise to the level of your hype. You rise to the level of your habits. There's something sacred about the quiet season, when it's just you and the work. No one's cheering, no one's asking for selfies, no one's validating you. That's when your character is built. That's when your skills are sharpened. That's when you become dangerous in the best possible way. Because when you no longer need the world to tell you you're great, you become free to focus on actually becoming great. And make no mistake, this quiet season will test you. You'll wonder if it's worth it. You'll look around and see people cutting corners, getting ahead, showing off, and you'll question your path. But remember this, fast fame fades, fast money vanishes. Fast success usually has a crash right behind it. But what's built slowly, in silence, with care and integrity, that endures. That's unshakable. That's real. It's easy to show up when people are watching. It's easy to work when someone is measuring. But who are you when no one's looking? Who are you when it's just you? The challenge and the choice to push through or give up, that's the version of you that decides your destiny. Not the one in front of the camera, the one in the dark, putting in the craft, making the tough choices. That's where success is born. Some of the most successful people on this planet had their defining breakthroughs in absolute silence. They were laughed at, ignored, doubted, and overlooked, and they didn't fight back with noise. They responded with results. They let their progress do the talking, and when they emerged, people called them an overnight success. But it wasn't overnight. It was years of unseen effort. That's the irony of success. It looks sudden, but it's anything but. So if you're grinding right now and no one sees you, don't get discouraged. If you're sacrificing and no one's cheering, keep going. That silence you're hearing, that's your arena. That's your training ground. That's where future champions are made. Success doesn't require an audience. It requires a decision to keep going, to stay consistent, to believe that effort compounds even when it looks like nothing's happening. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to beg people to believe in you. Just work. Just show up. And when you've built something real, something strong, something undeniable, then let the results speak for themselves. Not to prove others wrong, but to prove yourself right. Because at the end of the day, it's not about recognition, it's about legacy. And legacies are never built in the spotlight, they're built in silence. No one wants pain. That's the truth. It's uncomfortable, it's humbling, it's disruptive. But what if I told you that pain is not your enemy, it's your entry fee? It's the toll you pay to become more, to rise above your past, and to enter into a future that only the strong ever touch. Because growth is not free, it never has been. And the cost? Pain, discomfort, discipline, failure, sacrifice. You don't get to skip it. You don't get to fake it. You pay with everything you are, and in return, you become someone you've never been. Most people try to avoid pain. They run from it. They numb it. They disguise it with distractions, scrolling, eating, overworking, blaming, gossiping. But pain doesn't disappear when you ignore it. It grows. It follows you. It waits, and it will return again and again until you learn the lesson it came to teach. Because pain has a purpose. It's not there to destroy you. It's there to develop you. When life squeezes you, when it burns and stings and everything inside you wants to quit, that's when something deeper is being forged. That's when old versions of you are breaking away. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. And the preparation never feels good while it's happening. The gym hurts, the truth hurts. Letting go hurts. Forgiving when they don't apologize hurts. But what's the alternative? Stay the same? Live stuck, blame the world, and watch another year pass with nothing to show for it? There's a moment in every person's journey where they face the mirror and realize this: there's no growth without a price. You want to build muscle? Feel the burn. You want emotional resilience? Sit with your fears. You want a better life? Let go of the one that's killing you. Pain is the price tag, but here's the beauty of it. If you embrace the pain, if you lean into the discomfort, you unlock strength, wisdom, and self-respect you never knew existed. That's what makes it worth it. Nobody likes the pain of rejection. Nobody likes to fail publicly. Nobody enjoys falling short. But those who win, they don't fear pain, they respect it. Because they realize that every scar tells a story of a time they refused to give up. Every ache became a symbol of how far they were willing to go. You don't grow from the moments that feel good. You grow from the days when you kept going anyway. When it was raining, when it was lonely, when nothing seemed to be working, but you didn't stop. And don't confuse this with suffering for the sake of suffering. Pain, when aligned with purpose, becomes progress. But pain without direction, that's just torture. So you've got to choose. Will your pain define you, or will it refine you? Will you use it to stay bitter, or will you use it to get better? You have to decide that your future is worth the pain of letting go, that your potential is worth the pain of breaking old habits, that your freedom is worth the pain of discomfort. Growth always demands that you leave something behind: fear, laziness, ego, even people. And yes, it will hurt, but you'll survive it. In fact, you'll be surprised how much pain you can endure once you start seeing results. Pain becomes purpose when it moves you forward. So don't run from it, don't hide from it, get honest about it, face it, feel it, and then use it. Let it push you to your next level. Let it burn away the excuses. Let it shape you. The fire that burns the brightest steel is the same fire that transforms the weak into warriors. If you want the crown, carry the cross. If you want to rise, you must be willing to be broken first. Because the moment you accept that pain is a part of the process, you take back control. You stop being a victim. You stop being afraid. You stop bargaining with life, hoping for shortcuts. And instead you work, you train, you fight, and you rise. Not because it was easy, but because you embrace the truth. Nothing grows without pain. Your emotions will lie to you. They'll tell you to stay in bed. They'll tell you you're tired, that it's too late, that no one cares, that it won't matter. Your emotions are loud, but that doesn't mean they're right, because while motivation is great, it comes and goes like the wind. But discipline is the anchor. Discipline is what keeps you moving forward when everything inside you is screaming to stop. Let's be honest. How many times have you known what to do, but didn't do it because you didn't feel like it? How many workouts skipped? Books unfinished? Calls unmade? Opportunities lost? Not because you weren't capable, but because you were waiting to feel ready, inspired, excited. That's the trap. Emotion is a beautiful servant, but a terrible master. You'll never build anything lasting if you only act when you feel good. Winners show up whether they feel like it or not. Discipline isn't about how you feel, it's about what you do. Discipline is doing the right thing on the worst day. It's showing up when the mood is gone. It's pushing forward when your mind is screaming for comfort. That's when character is formed. That's when self-respect is built. Because nothing feels better than knowing you kept your word to yourself. Every time you choose discipline over emotion, you grow stronger. Every time you say no to distraction and yes to your goals, you build a kind of momentum that emotion can never create. This doesn't mean you ignore your emotions. They're important, but they don't get to drive the car. You acknowledge them, you process them, and then you get to work. Because your destiny doesn't care about your feelings, it responds to your actions. You don't need to feel motivated, you need to be consistent. The days you feel the weakest, that's when discipline must rise. That's when your future self is watching. Discipline is a skill, and like all skills, it gets stronger with practice. You don't build it in one day, you build it daily by choosing structure over chaos, purpose over pleasure, vision over impulses. It's waking up early when the bed feels warm. It's saying no to what feels good now for what will feel great later. It's putting your goals ahead of your mood. And once you start doing that, you begin to see what's possible. Not because things got easier, but because you got better. And here's something most people miss. Discipline is freedom. It's not a cage, it's a key. The more disciplined you are with your time, your energy, your habits, the more freedom you create in your life. Freedom to create, freedom to grow, freedom to walk away from anything that doesn't serve you. Emotion reacts, discipline decide. So when you're tired, when you're discouraged, when your emotions beg you to take the easy way out, remember who you're becoming. Remember why you started. The world doesn't reward mood swings, it rewards mastery. And mastery is built moment by moment, decision by decision, by those who show up even when it hurts. If life isn't a rehearsal, you don't get a second draft. This isn't a practice run where you can try again after the credits roll. You get one life, one body, one mind, one heart. And the time you have is running with or without your permission. So what are you going to do with it? You've got this one shot, and far too many people are wasting it waiting to feel ready, waiting for the timing to be right, waiting for someone to believe in them, waiting until the pain goes away, waiting until the fear disappears. But life doesn't wait. It moves with or without you, and if you're not intentional, you'll look back 5 years from now wondering how you let the fire go out while you were too busy doubting yourself. People think they have time, they think they can get serious someday, but someday is not on the calendar. Someday is a myth that keeps people average. You've got today, you've got this hour, you've got breath in your lungs, strength in your bones, and ideas that could change your life if you just stop stalling and start acting. The truth is brutal, the clock is ticking, and no one's going to save you. Nobody's going to show up and hand you your dream on a silver platter. No mentor, no miracle, no magic moment is going to do it for you. You want it? Earn it. Bleed for it. Fight for it. Build it. Because this one shot you have is yours and yours alone. And it's slipping by every time you choose comfort over calling. There are people out there less talented than you, less gifted, less intelligent, but they're winning. They're building, they're growing, they're moving. Because they understood one thing: time doesn't care how you feel. It only cares how you use it. You say you want to change your life? Then act like it. Make the sacrifices. Cut the distractions. Stop entertaining mediocrity. There's no growth in excuses. There's no power in waiting. If you've been given a vision, an idea, a dream, it's your responsibility to make it real. Because if you don't, it dies with you. And the world never sees what you could have been. The regret of wasted potential is one of the heaviest weights a person can carry. It doesn't come suddenly. It creeps in. Slowly, quietly. You wake up one day and realize you've settled. You traded your ambition for approval, your passion for predictability, your power for comfort. But it doesn't have to be that way. You still have breath. You still have a shot. But that window, it's not open forever. You must move now. Don't wait until you're backed into a corner. Don't wait until life forces you to change. Choose it now. Take control while you still can. Make this life count, not because it's easy, but because it's yours. Make it count, because one day you won't have time left to wonder, what if? And remember, you don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to start. You just have to move. Progress doesn't come from perfection. It comes from momentum. Action creates clarity. Every day you delay is a day of growth you'll never get back. Every hour wasted is opportunity buried. You've got one shot. Not next week, not next year, right now. Don't waste it trying to be understood by people who don't even understand themselves. Don't waste it chasing popularity over purpose. Don't waste it chasing short-term pleasure over long-term greatness. You were made for more, and you know it. Deep inside, you feel the pull. That restlessness isn't confusion. It's your spirit reminding you that you're not living at your highest level. You're playing small. You're shrinking. You're hiding. But that can end today, right here, right now, because you've got one shot. Make it count. In a world that's overflowing with noise, opinions, and distractions, standing out isn't about being louder. It's about being better. Not better than others, but better than you were yesterday. Because when you master your craft, when you put in the reps, when you obsess over getting better instead of getting attention, you become undeniable. See, here's the truth. The world may not care about your story, your background, or your excuses, but it cannot ignore excellence. Talent gets noticed, but mastery gets remembered. When you're so good, so skilled, so consistent, so committed, doors open, not because you knocked louder, but because you became someone who cannot be ignored. Most people want to be seen before they've done the work. They want followers before they've built something worth following. They want praise before they've earned respect. But the path to greatness doesn't start with visibility. It starts with value. You don't need to market yourself as much as you need to mold yourself. When you become truly excellent, word spreads, people talk, results ripple. Being great is not about flash. It's about substance. It's the invisible hours. It's the extra reps. It's the notes you take when others are tuning out. It's the way you treat your responsibilities when nobody's watching. That's what makes someone unshakable. That's what makes you unforgettable. Consistent greatness in silence leads to explosive recognition in time. And don't confuse this with seeking approval. This isn't about validation, it's about transformation. It's about waking up every day and asking yourself, how can I be better than I was yesterday? Not for applause, but for alignment. Not to impress others, but to express the excellence that's been sleeping inside you. Being so good they can't ignore you means you're willing to practice long after others are satisfied. You're willing to learn when everyone else is pretending they know it all. You're humble enough to start small, but hungry enough to grow large. You understand that greatness doesn't arrive, it's built. And brick by brick, mistake by mistake, hour by hour, you sculpt a version of yourself so strong, so focused, so irreplaceable, that the world is forced to make room for you. The marketplace doesn't reward opinions, it rewards execution. You want people to notice you? Then become valuable. Solve problems. Show up with solutions, not just questions. Be reliable. Be relentless. Be remarkable. And you won't have to chase opportunities, they'll chase you. In a world addicted to shortcuts, be the long game. Be the one who didn't fold. Be the one who sharpened their skill set when no one was clapping. Be the one who showed up every day without the hype and built something worth noticing. Because one day, the noise fades, the trends change, but value endures. Excellence. You don't need everyone to like you. You don't need the algorithm to favor you. You need to become so consistent, so professional, so prepared that people have no choice but to take you seriously. Even your critics will have to respect the way you've grown, because greatness leaves a trail no one can deny. Don't waste time being average, hoping to get noticed. Be phenomenal, be exceptional, and the world will have to adjust. At the end of the day, you've got a choice to make, a real one. One that will shape the next year, the next decade, maybe the rest of your life. You can keep waiting. You can keep hoping someone's going to hand you the life you dream about, or you can wake up to the brutal, liberating truth: nobody cares, so you must work harder. Nobody is coming to feel sorry for you. Nobody's sitting around thinking about how to make your life easier. And honestly, that's a blessing, because if nobody cares, that means you're free. Free to take ownership. Free to stop waiting for permission. Free to rise, not because someone pushed you, but because you made the decision to push yourself. This world doesn't reward whiners. It rewards workers. It rewards the obsessed, the committed, the ones who fall 7 times and stand up 8, the ones who didn't have it easy but never used that as an excuse. They didn't cry about what they didn't have. They built something with what they did. You want respect? Earn it. You want peace? Work for it. You want a future that sets your soul on fire? Then you must go through the fire of discipline, rejection, doubt, and pressure, and keep moving forward anyway. Because your potential is not a gift. It's a responsibility. And if you ignore it, life will move on without you. Nobody cares if you're tired. Nobody cares if it's hard. Nobody cares if you were hurt. That doesn't mean those things don't matter. It means they don't get to be the reason you stop. Use them. Use the pain. Use the setbacks. Use the silence. Let it fuel you. Let it drive you. Let it be the fire that burns through every excuse you've ever told yourself. Because in the end, the world may not owe you anything, but you owe it to yourself to become everything you were meant to be. And the path to that version of you, it runs straight through pain, through focus, through relentless, thankless work that nobody sees. But one day, they will. One day they'll see the strength, the clarity, the results, the life you built with your own 2 hands. So stop waiting, stop complaining, stop doubting, pick up your tools, get to work, make no excuses, take no shortcuts, earn your name, earn your peace, earn your freedom. Because nobody cares. And that's exactly why you must work harder.